All right, guys. What's up, Dodger fans? We're back. We're going to be quick today. We're in the middle of the World Cup. I'm sure a lot of you guys are watching that. It's awesome to have my brother back after 3 or 4 week absence. He's been coaching his high school basketball team. They just got done and playing in Sacramento, and you could see he's in beautiful Orange County, California. The weather looks beautiful there, brother Jeff. So welcome back. I'm glad to have you back on.
Yeah, I'm fired up, man. It's a great day. Soccer's on. The sun's out here in the OC, home of the Orange County Angels. It's great. It's a great time.
Yeah. So how about the Dodgers? The boys are sitting 13 games up. Went down 6 runs yesterday to the Padres, and then I think the Padres woke the Dodgers up, and then they just blasted them for like 13 runs or 12 runs. It was crazy. I loved it. But let's jump right into it. We're going to be quick because the World Cup is on. Argentina is next. We get to see the second best player in the world, Messi, to Ronaldo. I know that could be it could be a big argument. But I want to talk about Dave Roberts. You and I are both coaches. I've been listening to a lot of people over the years bash on Dave Roberts, and then they're his biggest fans, and then they hate Dave Roberts, and then he wins the World Series, and they love him again. I heard something on TV, and it said no manager is going to ever be perfect. And as Dodger fans, Dave Roberts is far from perfect, right? But what I think, and I talk a lot about this about Dave Roberts, and what you do great in your own high school program is Dave Roberts wins because of his relationships. I'm going to get into the numbers here in a second, but talk to me about Dave Roberts and the way he manages a team in terms of the relationships. I know you watch a lot of baseball, a lot of Dodgers, but what do you think has made Dave Roberts so successful with his relationships? Why? Why is it the relationships?
It's because it's hard. It's hard to coach great players, right? And the greatest Dodger manager of all time, Walter Alston, had great players. And I read a book about him years ago, and it said he was calm and he had a peaceful presence, and his players loved him. So it speaks to kind of the same thing when you hear about Dave Roberts, right? Just how he always goes to bat for his players, and he has their backs, and he talks to them, and they always praise his ability to be more than just a ball coach. And I think that's why he's so successful.
Yeah, I get frustrated, and I think if you go back and look at my podcast history, and you would be the same way. You just haven't been on the podcast in terms of the history of being on podcasts. We all have been big Dave Roberts fans. I love the guy. I think there's so much that goes on behind closed doors and behind the scenes. And you see a little bit of it come out when you listen to the interviews about when he won his 1,000th game, and the Dodger guys talking about Mookie Betts saying he's more like a father figure now. Max Muncy saying what he's done for my career has been it's unthinkable. Like you can't put it into words. And then you listen to Dave Roberts talk, and it's about the relationships and getting guys to buy in. And I think you hit the nail on the head, Jeff. You said it's not easy to coach great players. I think a lot of Dodger fans, and rightly so, think you throw out all these good players and you just the success is going to be there. But what you don't see is the egos by all these great players. And Dave Roberts managing great egos is big. I mean, we could talk about Phil Jackson with, Pippen and Jordan, and you could talk about Pat Riley with Magic and Kareem and Worthy and those guys. I think Dave Roberts stands right there. Before you give your input on this, let me read you some stats here. He's the fastest active manager to 1,000 wins. He's got a 62% winning percentage. Here's the crazy one I looked at. He's only been manager one time in 26, manager of the year one time in 2016. He's won 3 titles, 9 West Division titles. In all of baseball, he's got the 6th best winning percentage and the 3rd best postseason winning percentage in all of baseball. Yet there are some Dodger fans that question every move this guy makes, which as a fan, you're allowed to. But those numbers alone, is he on track to be one of the best managers of all time? Hall of Fame for sure, but is he on track?
Absolutely. Once he surpasses Alston, then it's kind of a no-brainer. He's in that discussion. You've got to consider him. He's never missed the postseason.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the money the Mets are spending, and look at
Yeah.
if it were that easy, everybody would just spend the money and win. But he's on a different playing field, and the consistent excellence is what stands out to me. He always wins.
And you know what he does? He always figures out a way to win. Like everybody is talking about the money the Dodgers spent. Yes, they've spent a lot of money, more than anybody else. And baseball wants to change that because of what the Dodgers are doing. But right now, you've got Dalton rushing behind home plate, Max Muncy at third, Kyle Freeland at second, Andy Pages in center. You had Ryan Ward for a long time in left field until Tio got back. You've got Tommy Edmond. The pitching staff, I mean, all these high-end arms, a lot of them are hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've got Robo, he's going to be an all-star, you would think. You've got Chucky Robinson as the backup, right? And Dodgers have the best record in baseball. They're sitting 13 games up right now. And I think that's a testament to what Dave Roberts, what he does. He breeds and builds winners and belief in the winning. And yes, there's some high-level guys out there. I mean, you got Freddie and Mookie. I mean, those are some big-name guys. And you got Yamamoto, pitching. But come on now. I mean, what Dave Roberts is doing with this team and what he's done with this team, we should be very thankful as Dodger fans to have Dave Roberts as our manager. And, you're kind of at that feet. But for me, like Tommy Lasorda, for our lifetime, Tommy Lasorda and Dave Roberts, it's unbelievable that the luck we've had in terms of managers for our favorite team. Agree?
Yeah, absolutely agree. Dodger fans, we got to enjoy this time. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go on to something, because let's go on to three guys and change topics here. A lot of fans, if you go back and look at social media, a lot of fans were bashing three guys: Mookie, Tucker, and Freeman. Are they old? Are they not there yet? Here's the last 10 games for Mookie. Let's just start with Mookie. Last 10 games, he's hitting 364, 16 hits, 3 homers, 10 RBIs. One of our very close friends was ready for Mookie to be the 9th or 8th hitter, Izzy Metz. Yeah. I'll call you out, Izzy. 364, 16 hits, 3 homers, 10 RBIs. And I kept preaching, along with you and some other Dodger fans, patience with Mookie. Like, were we right to say to be patient? I mean, Mookie's playing like Mookie now.
Yeah, he's at an elite level, isn't he? In fact, like the knock on him was he's getting old. He doesn't have it anymore. He doesn't hit it hard. And you go and research his exit velocity, and it's only Ohtani, and he's right there with Freeman on the Dodgers. He hits it almost as hard as Ohtani. So he's getting old arguments, I don't buy it. The guy was rehabbing from an injury. He just was taking his time. He's an elite player, and we'll talk about it later, but he's a top 25 Dodger of all time. So
yeah,
yep,
yeah. I don't know. I think for me, it's easy to say have patience because it's Mookie Betts, and you can historically look at his numbers. The numbers are phenomenal. And for a while there, he was one of the unluckiest hitters in all of baseball.
Yeah.
And the same as like Manny Machado is like second worst hitter right now in baseball, but he's unlucky also. I mean, I'm not going to bash on Manny Machado, but Mookie was one of the unluckiest hitters right there. And you could tell he was getting there. He was getting back. And I mean, when he went to OKC, he only had like 10 or 11 at-bats in Oklahoma City, and Dodger fans expected him to come right in and hit 300 and have power and do all this stuff. It's like, guys, patience is okay. And I think now the guys and the fans that had patience in Mookie's rewarding us.
Yeah, his swing looks quick too, and he's hitting the ball in the gaps. He's really stinking good.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to another, maybe the most polarizing figure right now with the Dodgers, and it's Kyle Tucker. I look at a lot of the social media stuff, and a lot of people are like, why do we have Kyle Tucker? Worst contract in the history of baseball. And now all of a sudden, Kyle Tucker in his last 10 games is hitting 313, 10 hits, 5 ribbies. And what is he on? He have eight straight on base streak right now. And then you see now social media people saying, oh, the real Kyle Tucker is showing up. do you think that playing in a high level environment where all that matters to be a Dodger is win, 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 and when you fail, it's like get rid of the guy? Do you think Kyle Tucker's now finally settling into understanding what it is to be a Dodger?
I would think so. I'm not sure his situation, but he has been hitting the ball better. I mean, he's kind of sucked this year, but you and I are both rooting for him, and other Dodger fans don't feel the same way, but we're rooting for him, and he's a very talented player, and you're starting to see it kind of pop. He's had an incredible week, a great last 10 games, but this week he kind of came out against the Padres, and so hopefully this is on to something really good here for him, because he's an elite player in Major League.
Yeah, I know his defensive metrics. I didn't write them down. His defensive metrics are not great right now, but I still really like him in right field. I still really like having Kyle Tucker in our lineup. And, we've talked about this before. We're getting ready for October. That's when it matters the most. And that's where Kyle Tucker is going to be judged, is in October. Now, I've always said this about Dodger fans. And again, when you're a Dodger fan, you have the right to feel this way. But it's like, I'm rooting for success for Kyle Tucker. I think there's some Dodger fans that every time he gets out, they say, see, why did we spend the money on him? Well, yeah. I would have much rather spent the money on Kyle Tucker than some of the other guys out there. And then, to be honest, if you put a guy out there like a Tibbs or one of these high-end prospects and they don't play well, Dodger fans are going to go crazy about that. Why did we bring these guys up? So it's hard to be a Dodger. It's almost a no-win situation. If you're not hitting, get rid of them. If you hit, we love them. And I think Kyle Tucker's experiencing that. I mean, he was great with the Astros, right? But that's Houston Astros. It's not the Los Angeles Dodgers. So
right.
I think for you and I speak for you. I speak for a lot of our Dodger friends that we talk to. We want to see Kyle Tucker succeed, because with Kyle Tucker succeeding, Dodgers could win their third straight.
Heck yeah. Agreed.
Okay, Freddie Freeman. I went back and looked some of our show notes, and we had to talk about Freddie Freeman. And is Freddie Freeman too old? And Dodger fans were questioning, is this the decline of Freddie Freeman? Now I'm looking at his last 10 games, hitting 447, 17 hits, 2 homers, 7 ribbies. He every time he comes up, I think this guy is going to get a hit. Now, a month ago, people were saying Freddie Freeman might be too old. Okay, Freddie Freeman's hitting 447 in the last 10 games, and I think every time this guy gets up, he's going to get a hit. Talk to me about Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, if you go back and you break down, I think the past 20 or 25 games, I forget statistically, versus Mookie Betts, they're almost identical. They're both hitting 330-ish. I think Mookie's got one less hit than Freddie. It's pretty remarkable, right? Remember, the Dodgers had such a long season last year. They've had how many long seasons? So oftentimes these guys are just being really smart about how they approach things, their bodies. And us Dodger fans, we're spoiled. We want to win every single game. And if we don't win all 162, it's like, it's a letdown. Yeah. But when it's all said and done, Freddie and Mookie are vets. They're professionals. And you and I both talked about it. Freddie is a worker. So this was bound to happen. We all believed it, and he's a maestro, man. He's really good.
Yeah, and when Freddie's not hitting, it never affects him defensively. Mm-hmm. As good as Max Muncy is at third base, he's the best defensive third baseman right now. Probably going to be the starting third baseman. Mookie is one of the best shortstops in baseball. You got Miggy Rowe and Freeland at second, but Freddie saves them sometimes.
Yeah.
Their throws are not always on the money. If you watch enough Dodger baseball, Freddie Freeman is Gold Glove caliber, I think, this year. And I have not looked at his defensive metrics. That's last week we had on Austin. And Austin would be phenomenal at breaking down the analytics of Freddie Freeman defensively. But from my eye watching the game, Freddie is playing Gold Glove caliber defense. I know somebody out there might question me, the analytics, but Freddie is never affected by what he's doing at the plate defensively. You and I have dealt with Greg Brock, Mike Marshall, a guy we're going to talk about later, Franklin Stubbs.
Yeah.
But we've got Freddie, doggone Freddie Freeman, and
Hall of Famer,
right? And we should be so lucky as Dodger fans. Okay. on the screen, we're talking about three guys. I'm going to go off topic a little bit here because it just dawned on me. Concerns about Will Smith? Yes or no?
I want to see him out there, but I mean, the Dodgers are smart. I mean, I think something is up. So I think maybe I wonder if they're trying to be very cautious and very smart and get him to hit his stride towards the end of the year. Something's
Yeah,
up.
I mean, it came out, Jeff, that if you hear the dog in the background, that is my daughter's dog, Apollo, a big old pit bull that is trying to tell me something. But I think Dodgers are being very smart with Will Smith. I don't think there's any reason to rush him back. I love that Dalton Rushing is getting a chance to get every day at bats.
Yep.
I do want to say this. Dodger fans that wanted, I don't even want to pronounce his last name, but Ben Rofferfelt or whatever his name was last year, the guy that hit lightning in a bottle. Thank you, Ben, for your service last year. But to say they want him over Dalton Rushing, a lot of those fans are eating their words right now. Dalton Rushing
no doubt.
is a bona fide stud and
Absolutely.
would be starting for most other teams in the league.
Yep.
So I have no problem with Will Smith getting to be totally healthy after catching all those innings in the World Series, which I think was a record amount of innings.
Yeah.
Then catches in the World Baseball Classic, gets a very little spring training. 2 or 3 different times on foul balls gets hit. I think this is perfectly fine. Chucky is fine defensively. He's not going to hit, but he's fine defensively. So I'm with you.
Yep.
I'm okay with Will Smith sitting out, so I don't have any cause of concern. Okay. Let's change subjects here. Let's move on. It's a big day tomorrow, July 4th, celebrating 250, right? So it got me thinking. I'm 52. I don't want to say your age. You're 6 years younger than me. I'll let people do the math. We've been Dodger fans for a long, long time. So I thought it'd be kind of cool here. We've got 10 minutes left on the show. Who are our top 5 Dodgers of all time? And it doesn't have to be in terms of how good they were, but let's start at number 5 for you. Who is if we're going in top 5, who's your 5th favorite Dodger of all time?
Oh, okay. So that we're going by favorites. I thought you were talking like all-time great Dodgers.
You could have it however you want to be. I'm personally going by my favorite. You go by the all-time greats. That's a good comparison. Who's your top?
I was battling this thing here, and Duke Snyder. I have the Duke. Because if you look on history for center fielders, he was playing at a time with Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays, and he actually was outclassing both of them. So he arguably had one of the greatest decades. I think it was the 60s he played, if I'm not mistaken.
50s, 60s, yep.
Yeah, so I always think Duke Snyder is just the man.
Okay. I have Oral Hershiser. Now, again, my list is going to be different than yours. You went with all time. I went with my favorites. Oral Hershiser, 1988. Mm-hmm. I think I was in 8th grade. I think it was 8th grade. Gosh, that just tells you how old we're getting. But the inning streak, Tommy Lasorda, the Bulldog, calling him the Bulldog. Beating the A's the way we beat the A's when they were so heavily favorite. Kirk Gibson's home run that year, but Oral Hershiser, and Dodger fans out there, I'm going to say it, be thankful that you've got him in the booth with Joe Davis. Oral Hershiser is got to be the best color commentator in all of baseball. He gives such a phenomenal perspective of what it's like. So Oral Hershiser is my number 5. Okay, number 4 for you.
The greatest shortstop in Dodger history, Maury Wills.
Woo-hoo-hoo, I love it.
Hands down.
Yep.
The dude could rake. He was fast. I mean, he's just the greatest shortstop in Dodger history.
Yeah, I love Maury. And was worked with
the
Dodgers.
He coached an organization, right?
Yep. Worked with the Dodgers heavily on base running. So, okay, I'm going to give a name. I almost put him at number 2, but I didn't. I put him at number 4. I'm going to read off some stuff about this guy. The 1940s player. I remember reading about this guy a long time ago, Pete Reiser, Pistol Pete.
Hmm.
Played 6 years with the Dodgers. I'm going to give you some cool background on this guy, Dodger fans. 1941, he was the runner-up for the MVP. He won the batting title that year. Why you would like him, Jeff, is he was known as maybe the most fearless baseball player who ever lived. There
Hmm.
are quotes, and I looked this up. There are quotes in that time period saying that he might have been, if he would have been able to, he might have been the most dynamic, best Brooklyn Dodger who ever played was Pete Reiser. Here's why. He was carted off the field 11 different times for running into the outfield wall. 11 different times. Um, his playing days were cut short because of how reckless he was in center field. One comment said he might have been, if he was able to continue playing, maybe better than Willie Mays. Now, that's a very broad statement,
Hmm.
big time statement, but I read that. Um, he also, as for all the Jackie Robinson fans out there, those two guys met because both those guys served. Pete met him at Fort Riley in Kansas in 19, I want to say 45 or 46, and they became friends. And he was a big time advocate of Jackie Robinson, was Pete Reiser. Also, a cool little fact: the warning track and the padded outfielder walls were because of Pete Reiser. And
Wow.
so Pete Reiser's my fourth favorite Dodger. I love Pete Reiser. He was one of the all-time great base stealers for his time that he played. He also coached in the Dodgers organization. So there's a little history thing on Pete Reiser.
Hmm.
Okay, number three. Who do you got for number three?
Mark, thank you for that background on Riser. I'm going to look him up.
Yeah,
I have Clayton Kershaw.
yeah, I
Yep.
like it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue him and Sandy, the best two lefties
Mm-hmm.
of all time. And you know what?
Yep.
How cool is it? The Dodgers have the two greatest lefties who ever lived.
That's right.
Okay, so Clayton Kershaw is your number three. Mine
Number
is
three.
Dusty Baker.
Okay.
Now, 1981, I would say, was one of my favorite teams of all time, the 1981 Dodgers. I mean, you're looking at Garvey, Lopes, Say, Russell, Baker, Ken Landreau, Pedro Guerrero, Fernando Valenzuela. I'm just going to break the sign. I don't have Fernando in my favorite all time top five. I think he's in my top 10, but
Yeah.
Dusty Baker. I love Dusty Baker and the wristbands that he wore, and just the way he conducted himself as a Dodger. Okay, we're getting up there now. Number
Yep.
two for you, all-time greatest Dodgers ever. Number two.
Sandy Koufax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hard to go wrong with Sandy.
Yeah. Sure is.
Little side note for the Barakoffs, our dad saw Sandy Koufax pitch a no-hitter or perfect
Hmm.
game. I can't remember which one it was, in left field when it was very cheap to go out there, but dad was in left field when that happened to watch Sandy Koufax. So our dad saw Sandy Koufax live. Yeah, hard to go wrong with Sandy. I love seeing him at Dodger games, sitting
Yep.
there in the front row, and
Absolutely.
I love how much he loves when the Dodgers are playing. Okay, no brainer here for me. Kike Hernandez, I think, is my number two favorite Dodger of all time. There's something about the dude, what he brings to the dugout. He's not a great career hitter by any means, but when the playoffs roll around, he becomes Superman. He's so multi-versatile. He can play just about any position. I think the only one he hasn't played is catcher for the Dodgers. But there's something about Kike Hernandez that I fell in love with. And a cool note, our buddy that runs Dodgers Daily interviewed Kike. Casey did, and Kike has followed me and not followed me, but knows what I'm doing on X and social media about, because every time Kike does something, I am now well known for saying the best player in baseball. Okay,
Yes, you are.
all right, all right. Your number one Dodger. Your number one Dodger of all time.
This one is easy. It's a no-brainer. Steve Sachs is the greatest Dodger to ever walk the earth. Um, but in he's my favorite of all time. But Jackie Robinson,
Yeah,
hands down. Yeah.
yeah. You know, one of the nerd things that I do is I play Stratomatic baseball, and I just played uh, or like 5 or 6 games with Jackie Robinson with Stratomatic baseball, his rookie of the year season. Um, Jackie Robinson, I think everybody would say Jackie, what he did for baseball,
Yeah.
In what baseball does for Jackie, and how much the Dodgers honor him. And it's cool to listen to Mookie Betts talk about Jackie and Dave Roberts. How Dave Roberts, when it's Jackie Robinson Day, takes both teams out to the statue and gives a little bit of a history lesson of Jackie. Kind of why I brought up Pete Reiser, why I like Pete Reiser, how he was such an advocate for Jackie.
Though, if Andy Pajes, if we were doing all like my favorites, Andy Pajes would be in my top two.
Yeah, you've been a big Andy Pajes fan since the beginning, and I knew you were going to go Steve Sachs. I knew Steve Sachs. I didn't think you were going to go like Mike Scioscia or Greg Brock or any of those guys, or Mike Marshall.
Throwing name guys I used to love to watch was Delino DeShield, but he had a short stint with us. Brett Butler, but these guys weren't they weren't there for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Fernando for me. But my number one guy, Dodger fans, maybe you should really deep dive this guy, because I think he's, is Franklin Stubbs, world champion Franklin Stubbs. Why Franklin Stubbs? Dodger fans, I have no clue. I just, all of a sudden as a kid, I don't know, I looked at his baseball card and I'm like, I'm going to be a big Franklin Stubbs fan. I mean, the dude's like a career 230 hitter. He had one great year. I think it was 86, maybe, Franklin Stubbs. But he was the Dodger when the Dodgers got the final out against the A's, and Franklin Stubbs was on the field. So he is a world champion, and he did have some big hits for the Dodgers. But Franklin Stubbs is my favorite Dodger. As we go into 4th of July, it's a big deal. You and I are massive soccer fans. I'm gonna ask you this. We gave our favorite Dodgers all time and personal. Who do you have winning the World Cup?
Oh my gosh, I think France is outstanding. I really do. I'm leaning that France is going to win this thing.
Yeah, I have France winning it also.
Yeah.
I wish American soccer fans would stop saying that it's the USA team is cooked, it's over, that we lost our goal scorer. I have a feeling that USA, this atmosphere that's going to happen in Seattle, the payback they have toward Belgium.
Yeah.
Belgium had to play a long game to get to this point.
Yeah.
I really think somebody's going to step up for USA. And I'm excited.
Belgium is ripe to get beat.
I would say so too. And then if you can get past this round, I know Spain and Portugal are lurking, and more importantly, probably Spain. Anything could happen if it's this round with America. I'm so excited to see this game in Seattle. But the World Cup's been outstanding. I know a lot of, what did it have? 30-something million viewers. It's the most watched ever American soccer game ever was our last game. I thought that was so cool. I actually saw a quote. I'm going to ask you this. And I know this is an if, so please don't think I'm meaning. If America was to win the World Cup, would soccer overtake as the most popular sport in all of the United States of America? Would soccer take over football? I saw somebody post this because of all the injuries that are happening to kids in football now. Could soccer become the number one sport?
I don't think that's ever going to happen. But geez, it's sure going to help numbers, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I know America, there's the casual fan that watches it every few years. One trophy ain't going to outdo the generation of the NFL. I'm with you, sideline guys. That's probably our buddy Jay in the background saying that. I'm with you. I just thought I'd throw it out there. I've seen a few people. Actually, the person that posted it, his son is an NBA player, and he played. I know the guy really well. He played at Oklahoma City University. I won't say any names, but anyways, Dodgers going to make it 14 up on the Padres tonight. Yep, I know right here, world champion Dodgers.
I got my 4th of July cap on right there, baby.
Oh, yeah, that's big time, Jeff. It was great to have you back.
Likewise, brother.
Looking forward to getting back to doing this on a regular basis. So, Dodger fans, happy 4th of July. Go USA and
USA.
Go Dodgers. Peace.